Jason Gregg is here. You can hear him 2 to 6, right, Greggs? 2 to 6.
That's right, big man.
TSN 1260 radio. Yeah, weekdays. Yeah, exactly. He's big time during the week. And I promised that we would get to the Oilers talk with Jason because there's a ton of questions coming in. Ted in Red Deer says, Jason Gregor, as Don Cherry would say, what a beauty. Great. He is a beauty.
Red Deer's smart.
He knows it. He knows it. I'll just go right. Jason in Red Deer. Jason, regarding the Oilers, now that they have a reliable starter in net, knock on wood, do you feel like they have all the pieces in place to go when it comes?
Why would people say Smith wasn't reliable? Look at the last 2 years. Mike Smith had the 6th best save percentage among starting goaltenders. Now, was he injured? Yes. But when he played, Jack Campbell is going to be hard-pressed to play as well as Smith did for the games that he played. Now, granted, he only played, 60 games in a regular season over the 2 years. Obviously, one was a shortened season. I think Mike Smith actually gets too bad of a rep by some Oilers fans because every now and then he'll toss up a pizza when he's handling the puck. But he handles the puck well 100 times and then makes one error. So, Campbell will be a little bit less high mistakes. But if you look at Mike Smith in the playoffs and in the regular season, did you know that Mike Smith in the playoffs had one of the best save percentages on shots from the slot, had one of the best save percentages from inner slot shots? Like, Edmonton still doesn't have an outstanding defense core. They got a good system with Manson and Woodcroft, right? But they're going to bring in Broberg now, and Keith is gone. Right, so Broberg will come in. That's a big downgrade in experience, right? Broberg's a faster skater, sure, but what will he do? I just wanted to say I think Mike Smith at times gets a bad rap the last 2 years because every now and then he mishandles the puck. But the Oilers, I actually think, overall are better because Evander Kane wasn't here at the start of last season. Brett Kulak wasn't here at the start of last season, right? Bouchard's now a year older, right? Like their team's good.
There's no reason to think that they won't be a Stanley Cup contender. There's no reason to think that, I don't think.
Yeah, they should be. Their biggest problem right now is their salary cap. Because right now, I know a lot of people use cap friendly, but cap friendly doesn't have the bonus overages of $896,000 that they owe. So the Oilers actually right now, without Ryan McLeod signed, are $590,000 over the salary cap. So they got to sign him for probably he's going to get pinched, and maybe we'll sign for $1 million. Might even have to settle for $950,000 or $900,000. So that puts him at 1.5 over. And that's with Smith and Kleppbaum already on LTI. So the Oilers got to make a move here. And I'm kind of curious to see what balls Ken Holland's going to juggle here up until training camp to make the cap work.
The last time I was here was the Stampeders were visiting the Elks, and Stamps hammered them. The next day, Duncan Keith retired.
Yeah.
And I got a sense that really caught people off guard, even the Oilers.
Well,
did it?
No, yes and no. He had at the end of the season, he had kind of told them that, you know what, it was something he wanted to think about. Now, I had heard that even, the year before in Chicago, he was contemplating it, right? But then, you know what, he got the opportunity to play closer to home. And last year really meant a lot for Duncan to be closer to his son and have his son kind of experience to see what dad got to do. And it doesn't help that he got to hang out, as Duncan laughed about how, his son got to, hang out with Connor McDavid all the time and Leon Draisaitl, ask him for autographs and pictures all the time. And, those guys, the Oilers now, it's funny how that group of players suddenly there's lots of young kids running around the locker room. And that does change things, right? People's perspective a little bit. It eases the pressure of professional hockey because the kids come in and they're just like, oh, hey, Connor, you want to play mini sticks? Like, they don't care that you've got 100 points. And I think those guys kind of like it. But, where Duncan Keith's value to the team is actually, and if you just look at his statistical numbers on ice, they were fine. But he's an excellent outlet passer, very quick. But he just, in the playoffs, all the players talked about how Keith he knew what to say at the right time and how to teach them how to stay calm. Even when you're up, you can't get to, because I know it's a cliche, but it's true. The minute you get wrapped up in a tough loss, it screws you over. So I think Keith's biggest thing that they will look back, and if this team, I think their window, Rod, you're right. I think the next 3 or 4 years, and then if Draisaitl, McDavid sign extensions, well, it could go to the next decade, that they should be a contender. Who knows if they'll ever win? It's hard to win. But they should be entering the next 3 years for sure until those contracts are extended to their Stanley Cup window. Well,
and the other thing is with McDavid, I don't know if you hear it here in Edmonton. I hear it all the time, being a little east of here, about McDavid wanting out. After this run, clearly he would not want out. Did you ever think that he would ask out?
I never got the sense whatsoever that Connor McDavid was close. He wanted to compete. And when I had conversations with Connor, I said, Connor, you can go back and look at Mario Lemieux's career. 1 playoff appearance in the first 6 years. Go back and look at Joe Sakic. They were beyond horrible, right? One playoff performance, I think, in the first 7 years. Right? Alexander Ovechkin didn't win a cup, didn't get out of the second round till his 13th season. Like, there's too many people that just assume, well, you're a good player, you got to have instant success. Everybody's about instant success. I want to get instant likes. I want to get everything right away. And so if it doesn't happen, it's like, well, I got to quit. Star players aren't quitters. If they quit, they wouldn't be star players, right? So I never got the sense at all that Connor McDavid wanted out of Edmonton. Obviously, you have some success that they had. He wanted to see it going this way instead of, like, it sucked after 17 and then they went down and missed the postseason. So was he frustrated? 100%. But frustrated and wanting out are two very different things. You can be frustrated and still be willing to stay.
Yeah.
Now, I never got a sense, and I've talked to now. I'm not saying I'm super tight with Connor McDavid or anything like that, but talking to people that I trust well enough that know him better, it was a story that emulated more out of Eastern, Toronto,
he's an Eastern guy.
right? Some people, than anywhere else, and which is, hey, people will spread rumors just because, and but Connor McDavid was never leaving. Now, does it guarantee he'll sign an extension in 4 years? I have no idea. 4 years, man. Who knows what's happening in 4 years? Like, you might be doing your show from space with Elon Musk in 4 years, Rod. You don't know.
That's the plan. Yes. We have a minute and a half left. I got to say this, though. Remarkable turnaround in an Oilers season when you consider it was the Leon, why are you so pissy season. That happened in the season. What was the hairpin turn? What happened?
Well, you know what? I give Jay Woodcroft and Dave Manson. I think sometimes Dave Manson doesn't get the credit he deserves. Like, Jay Woodcroft and Manson came in, they're a duo. And they made a few small tweaks, obviously, to how they their forecheck, how they defended it, backtracking. But also, Dave Manson said, darn it, he took Evan Bouchard, who was a rookie and was playing too many minutes and too many tough minutes. So he said, we'll pull you back a bit. You can play with Duncan Keith. We're going to put Ceci and Nurse. And not only did he put Ceci and Nurse together, they played 50% of their time against elite players. Like, I don't think people understand how ridiculous that is. Victor Hedman, Cale Makar, the guys are like 36%. Against elite players. They were at 50.9, right? Now, Nurse doesn't put up numbers when you're doing that because you're basically, the coach says, you go out there, we just want you to break even. In those minutes, Rod, he only allowed 3 goals against elite players. Like, that's outstanding, right? And then obviously Nurse's injury in the playoffs hurt them for sure, but Dave Manson rejigging how he ran his defense score, he put guys I felt in better positions to succeed, and it worked.
Clearly.
Like, the Oilers were the second best team in the regular season since they took over. And so that's why I'm curious to see, teams will be more aware of them now, no question, right? And do they stay healthy? And how do they react now? I think you'll see a few little tweaks from Jay Woodcroft now that he has a full training camp with this team.
He's the best Edmonton broadcaster, Jason Gregor. Not just because he's sitting here. Thanks for coming down, pal.
Thanks, Rod.
Enjoy your
Appreciate
vacation.
You betcha, buddy.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of the Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.